Hi guys, I'm Jasmine and you're watching my channel, The Curious White Coat. I started this channel for anyone who's ever been curious about medicine or the process of becoming a doctor. So maybe you're someone who's been dreaming about becoming a physician, but you're not sure what steps to take. So today I wanted to highlight the traditional path to becoming a physician so that you can see that you can do this too. Now, truthfully, there is no one-size-fits-all method to becoming a doctor. And while I'm showing you the traditional path, I want you to know that even if your path doesn't look like this one, you can still become a physician. So let's take a look at that timeline. Feel free to pause, rewind if you need to. I'll still be here, but I want to explain each of the steps in greater detail. So you start off with high school in the United States. In high school, you want to do well academically. This means taking the most advanced classes that you're capable of taking, but doing as well in them as you can. You also want to do different extracurricular activities. This could be volunteering, playing a musical instrument, or playing a sport, being involved in your National Honor Society, having a leadership role like being on their executive board, or being the president of a club. You should start thinking seriously about college as soon as possible, ideally even in your freshman year. Some colleges and universities may have requirements of students that want to apply to their institution. So this could be a GPA level that you have to reach, or a certain English class or math class that you need to take in order to study at that university. So if you take time out of your freshman year to look at these different requirements, then you're able to have a plan moving on through high school where you can choose the courses that you need to take in your schedule. And if you wait all the way until your senior year when it's time to apply for college to look at all of these requirements, you might be missing certain classes that you needed to take, and now there's no more time to take them. Fast forward to the spring of your junior year. This is when most students are going to be taking their SAT or their ACT exams. Now, you can take it at any time, but most students prefer to take it in the spring because it allows plenty of cushion in case you need to retake the exam, and you'll still be able to get your scores back in time for the college application process in the fall. Now, after you've taken your SAT and your ACT, you want to start planning which colleges to apply to. This typically takes place in the summer between your junior year and your senior year, and this is where you decide what schools, you look at the requirements, and hopefully you meet all of the requirements for the schools that you want to go to because you planned ahead in freshman year and chose the right courses throughout high school. Once you head into fall, this is when you're going to officially submit those applications. Throughout the rest of your senior year, you're waiting to hear back. You might go on interviews and campus tours. And then once you get to the spring of your senior year, you'll probably have heard back from different schools and you'll be able to make a final decision on where you want to go to. The next major step is going to a college or university. Now, again, like you did in high school, you want to take your freshman year to look at different medical schools and see what courses they require. Different medical schools will have certain science courses that you need to take, like physics, biochemistry, organic chemistry, and you want to make sure that you get these into your schedule. So plan ahead, plan early on, and make sure you get those courses in. Most medical schools will want you to complete a 4-year bachelor's degree. The good news is this can be in whatever topic you want as long as you complete the pre-medicine student curriculum. You want to continue to do well academically in all of your courses, and as you're going through your classes, try to make some impactful relationships with your professors because these are people that could be potential letter writers for you when it comes time to apply for medical school. As you go through the process of college, you also want to keep in mind that you need to turn yourself into a strong applicant for medical school. Join a pre-medicine club, communicate with the pre-medicine department or its director. Those were some of the ways that I was able to get opportunities in shadowing, connections with doctors, and you can also find opportunities for research and mentorship and all these other opportunities that you may not have known about if you hadn't joined a pre-medicine club or communicated with that department. Now, once you've been doing all of this, you're going to come to the spring of your junior year, and this is when most students will take the medical college admissions test, which is also called the MCAT. Students will take it in the spring because it gives you plenty of time to have your scores back in time for the application process, and just in case you need to retake it again, you'll have time to do that as well. The next step on the timeline is applying to medical school. The way the application process works, you want to apply in the year before you plan to start medical school. So this means if you're trying to go into medical school in the fall of 2024, you want to apply in the summer of 2023. So all of these application processes are actually online, so make sure you have computer access. And then once you've applied, you'll go on interviews, you'll hear back about whether or not you can go to that certain school. And then by the spring, hopefully you'll have an idea of where you're going to medical school, and then you'll graduate. And traditionally, students will go right into medical school in the fall after they graduate from college. Medical school itself is typically 4 years long. In that time, you're going to learn the foundations of medicine, you're going to learn how to take care of patients, and discover what type of doctor that you want to be. So once you graduate medical school, you'll have a degree as a doctor. This can either be a doctor of medicine, which is an MD, or a doctor of osteopathic medicine, which is called a DO. So after that, it's off to residency. And to get into residency, you need to have one of those degrees. Residency training is a higher level of education where you focus on being a very specific type of doctor. So let's think of medicine as this much larger umbrella, and underneath it are all these different sections that correspond to the different types of doctors. You have family medicine doctors, psychiatrists, internal medicine doctors, surgeons, neurologists, which is what I actually plan to specialize in. So once you know what type of specialty that you want to go into, you receive your residency training, and depending on what specialty you're in, your residency could be 3 years long or it could be 8 years long. I'll give the example of neurology because that's what I want to do. And for neurologists, the entire length of residency is 4 years. So there's a first year, which is called an intern year, and then the last 3 are going to be focused on neurology. After you complete your residency training, you have the option to pursue what's called a fellowship. So let's go back to that example of medicine being an umbrella. You have the greater umbrella of medicine, and underneath it are different categories, which we are calling specialties. Within each specialty are even more categories, and those are what we call subspecialties. So to learn more in these subspecialties, doctors will undergo fellowship training. A good example of this would be internal medicine doctors. So internal medicine is the specialty, and within it, it has so many different subspecialties. So you have nephrology, which are kidney doctors, cardiologists, which are heart doctors, lung doctors, critical care, so many different types of doctors. A good example might be, cardiologists. Cardiologists will go through 4 years of medical school. Once they have their MD or their DO, they go into internal medicine residency, which is about 3 years, and then they complete a fellowship in the subspecialty of cardiology, which is about a year long. And now we're at the final stage of our timeline, which is an attending physician. This is a doctor who's able to practice medicine independently. They've undergone all of their residency training, maybe they've also done some fellowship training, and they've finished all of their board exams. So that's the traditional path to become a doctor, but remember, it's not the only way to do it. I know I've covered quite a bit of information, so if you're feeling overwhelmed or think that you might have missed something, feel free to rewind or check out the description box where I've left a couple of helpful links with more information on the topics that I covered. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you were able to learn something new from this video. Send me any suggestions for future videos or hit me up with any questions in the comments and I'll be sure to take a look. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.